Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me and Joe Habib on Archive. What's going on, Beeb?
Hey, what's happening, brother? What's going
Yeah, man.
on? Lots of news, bro. Lots of news.
A lot of news. It's crazy. Like I thought, you know, there's no longer like a norm when a fight's announced. Usually, when a fight's announced, it's a done deal. Everything's signed. And that's it, right? But
Yeah,
Andy Ruiz hasn't said anything yet. And the only thing that we know is that he's negotiating for more money.
that's the rumor. Yeah,
You know what I mean? So what are
that's
you?
the rumor.
And he hasn't said anything, dude. Like what's? I don't understand. For those that don't know, right? I'm gonna share with you guys right away. All right, so you could see this too, babe. Um, Andy Ruiz's Twitter page. This is Twitter page right here. All right. See that? He has not said anything since August 9th. What's the date today? 11th?
11th.
Oh, but DStyle, he just hasn't been on Twitter. Yeah, he has. Look at his likes. He just liked a couple posts yesterday. So the dude's been on Twitter. He's been checking some stuff out on Twitter. So he's been around, right? What do you think's going on, Beep?
Go to Eddie Hearn's Twitter. See what he's tweeting right now.
All right.
Curious to see what's going on with Eddie Hearn right now.
Well, it's Eddie Hearn right now. He's talking about their Haney NYC, yeah. Right? Okay, you know they're promoting that, and something in Liverpool. Okay, on this day, 7 years ago.
Is there anything on his Twitter about the fight?
Let's see, we're showing up. Campbell, this was 11 hours ago, 12 hours ago. Estrada Beeman. Look at that. Serrano announcing her boxing fight. Katie Tater, and there it is. He retweeted on August 9th, but he hasn't said anything since, B. Nothing on the 10th, nothing on the 11th.
And then the zone had that little promo yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were kind of talking about it.
Yeah. The zone has definitely been talking about it. They've tweeted about it. You know. Shout out to DJ Mexicano de Tejas, Manny Gatillo, Andy Ruiz Chatal, Eddie Hearns, who there you go. What's up, everybody? This is AJ10 and Salute DStyle. What's up, Dark Truth? We've been telling people this for a long time, babe, and they still don't get it. They don't understand what we mean. Like, I told everyone, look, the belts makes everything negotiable. It doesn't mean Andy Ruiz is the lion's share. It doesn't mean he calls all the shots, but he has negotiating leverage with those belts, right?
Absolutely. Listen, if Anthony Joshua doesn't beat Andrew Ruiz, then he'll never be considered the real heavyweight champion. Even if the belts get fractured and maybe he picks one of them up or two of them up, if they're vacated and he ends up fighting for vacant titles, he still will not be considered the man at heavyweight because he never avenged the loss from the guy who beat him. That's another thing that's going to be hanging over his head that these people don't understand. These people think that Ruiz, isn't willing to drag this out. Ruiz isn't willing to risk, possibly not fighting for a year. Again, this still has to go to court. And again, the fight was in New York. So the contracts were more than likely drawn up in New York. It's going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, it's going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court, and who knows when they'll allow the case to be seen. So that's going to be a long, drawn-out process. And what are they going to do? Try to get a court injunction to stop Andrew Ruiz from fighting? This is going to be more of a headache for them if they drag it out and they don't cooperate and they don't try to compromise here. Now, they already compromised supposedly on this venue. It's neutral. Now, are they going to squabble over a couple $1 million. You mean to tell me they're not willing to bump it up a little bit? And why doesn't the zone step in here and kind of mediate this whole thing? Why don't they say, okay, Andy, we'll bump up your purse a little bit here? So I don't understand, why this is such a problem. Here's another thing too.
Yeah.
Because you're the A side, and you have the lead promoter, and you're the the house fighter supposedly, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you negotiate, nobody ever gets 100% of what they want. Everything is going to be challenged. Yes. And what's funny too? A lot of the UK fans are saying, "Oh, Lee signed a contract. Now he's not honoring the contract, like he's doing something so immoral, so ethically wrong." But then when you come out and you say, "Well, Eddie Hearn's a liar. Eddie Hearn doesn't tell the truth," you know what their response is? Well, all promoters lie.
Right.
So it's okay for Eddie Hearn to do disingenuous things or not do honorable things, but because Ruiz is holding out because he wants to get a fair deal, now they're questioning his honor, but they openly say, well, all promoters lie. So it's acceptable for Eddie Hearn to lie and be a bullshit artist, but it's not acceptable for Andy Ruiz to hold out and try to get the best deal that's possible for him. They're not paying a market value. Okay, A lot of people talk about the Rockman-Lennox Lewis rematch. Well, guess what? Hasim Rockman, when was that? I think that was in 2002, if I'm not mistaken. Hasim Rockman in 2002 got $10 million for the rematch with Lennox Lewis. Okay? Now, factor in the cost of inflation. That's probably, back then, worth about $20 million. Okay? Buster Douglas got $25 million after he beat Mike Tyson to fight Evander Holyfield. They are paying this guy way below market value. And, people are saying, well, why, he signed the contract. Why all of a sudden is he changing his tune? Well, because look at the way he won the title. I mean, he dominated and he knocked Anthony Joshua out in an emphatic fashion.
Yeah.
He wants to be rewarded for that. Why should Anthony Joshua, this fight is going to be gigantic. It's going to be huge, right? Anthony Joshua is going to get substantially more in this rematch than he got in the first fight, right?
You don't think it's possible that even Joshua's getting ripped off? If reportedly they're gonna make $100 million out of this deal with Saudi Arabia.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't. But we don't know how much of that the fighters are going to end up splitting. Fighters will probably end up splitting around roughly 45 to 50 million.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So if Joshua's getting a significant bump for losing, then shouldn't Andy Ruiz get a significant bump for winning? Like, people are acting like Joshua should be rewarded for losing. That's the funny thing about this whole thing. It's crazy. Right. It's crazy.
You're absolutely right. AJ 10 says, and this is a quote, "You've got the promoter going out on a limb saying we're fighting December 7th in Saudi Arabia, but you haven't heard anything from Andy. Everybody has to hold off and wait. This is Manny Robles, his trainer to talk sports." That doesn't mean that Manny's word is gospel, but you cannot just take it with a grain of salt. I think that's a very important quote. And it's supported by the fact that Andy Ruiz has not said anything. Okay, I want to kind of break down for people a little bit the difference between the Lennox Lewis Rockman fight and this fight. Okay, number one, the way the fight went down. There were rematch clauses on both, but I would argue that Eddie Hearn doesn't have a rematch clause. This dude has a I own you clause, pretty much. Like it's not even it's to me. I honestly believe a judge would wipe his ass with everything other than the fact that he has to rematch the guy. Okay, but number one, Lennox Lewis, after that fight, most people came out saying, I think he caught him with a nice shot, but I think Lewis wins the rematch. And this one, he was beat down. He was knocked down 4 times. Okay, he was out of it from like round 2. He lost the majority of the rounds. What was it? A 7th round stoppage, I believe. I'm trying to remember.
So. I believe
right.
So
So it's the way that he lost is different, and not only that. Lennox Lewis didn't have an issue where that I know of anyway, where the fight was going to take place. All right, they weren't telling Rockman, no, you're going to make, you're 2 million, shut up, and that's it. We're going to tell you where the fight is and this, that, and that. He just wanted to fight Rockman. Rockman flat out did not want to fight Lennox Lewis. This is not the case with Andy Ruiz. Ruiz wants to fight Joshua. He just wants to get rewarded properly for being the world champion, okay, for being the defending champion. And the way he beat Joshua and the fact that Joshua has to avenge that loss, okay, gives Andy Ruiz a lot of leverage. Okay, it gives him a lot of leverage.
Yes. And again, the thing is this. People want to talk about leverage.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to repeat a lot of the same things I've been saying over and over again because some of these people are slow and it doesn't sink in. So I have to repeat it 17,000 times. And sometimes I have to talk real slow like this so people can get it. So anytime somebody has something that somebody else wants, that in itself is leverage. And you've already pretty much said that in your own way. So it doesn't matter who you are. If someone has something that you want, they could use that as leverage over you. As you said, the belts are leverage. Okay? People are acting like if this fight doesn't happen, it's worse for Ruiz than it's going to be for Joshua. No, it's not. Okay? Joshua is the person here with something to prove, not Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, if they don't give Andy Ruiz a fair deal and the fight doesn't happen, people aren't going to blame Andy Ruiz. They're going to blame Eddie Hearn. They're going to say Eddie Hearn is greedy. They're going to say Eddie Hearn's trying to bully Andy Ruiz. And then Anthony Joshua cannot repair his career and put it back on track unless basically he gets this win. Well, if you can't understand common law, common knowledge, and if you can't understand what I'm saying, Corin Brand, then I have to question your intelligence a little bit. You guys are acting like if this fight doesn't happen, it's going to be a big blow to Ruiz. No, it's going to hurt Joshua more because if he doesn't go back and beat Ruiz, then he's going to be the B-side against Wilder. He's going to be the B-side against Fury. He's not going to be the man.
Right.
So I'm going to have to question your intelligence if you're not understanding what I'm saying right now. I will question it.
Andy Ruiz is the one that has really nothing to prove.
Nothing.
I mean, in most circuits, like if Joshua beat Ruiz that way, there wouldn't be a rematch, guys. Okay, like there wouldn't be any talk about if he knocked down Ruiz 3 times and systematically broke him down. There would be no talks of a rematch. None. All right. In all normal circumstances, a rematch would not be necessary. Okay. Now, but because they have a rematch clause, that's why the fight is reportedly going to happen. But it does not mean that Ruiz doesn't have negotiating leverage. He does, and he's utilizing the belts, okay, and withholding that rematch that AJ desperately needs, that Matchroom needs, that Eddie Hearn needs, and he's withholding that. He utilized that to get the fight out of the UK. He accomplished that, all right, and now he's using it to get more money. Beeb, what if you were? You are a betting man, but if there was any odds on this, okay, how likely to you is it that Andrew is going to get more money for this fight?
99.9%.
Yeah. You think it's Eddie Hearn's ego that's stopping this more than anything?
Yes. 110%. 110%.
Facts. In the words of Ric Flair, to be the man, you have to beat the man. AJ has nothing Ruiz wants. AJ needs Ruiz. Absolutely. Like if they were to agree, like, okay, we're not going to do the rematch, Andy Ruiz would have far more options. He could make a lot of money fighting, Wilder. He could make a lot of money fighting even Fury. He does not need Anthony Joshua as much as Anthony Joshua needs him. Those are just the facts. The only reason, yes, there is a rematch clause. That's the reason we're even talking about this fight. If it wasn't for that clause, there would be really no need for rematch, right? So yes, that's why rematch clauses are important. However, Ruiz isn't saying, "Nah, I don't want a rematch. I don't want to fight AJ." That's not what he's saying. He's saying, "Pay me what I deserve. Like, pay me something and show me respect as a world champion, as a man who dominated Anthony Joshua. Give me that respect. Give me more money." All right? If Lennox Lewis did that for Rockman, a guy he didn't even like, okay, why can't they do this for Andy Ruiz, who dominated that fight for the most part, outside of maybe two rounds?
And did you hear DAZN last night?
Yes.
After they put that promo on without the fight being confirmed, really being confirmed from Ruiz's side. And then, right. Did you hear what Sergio Mora said? Do you hear what Sergio Mora said?
What did he say?
He's like, oh, well, I got to give credit to Anthony Joshua because he was willing to go to the United States and put everything on the line. I got to give him a lot of credit, and I respect him for doing that. Oh, yeah, but he didn't. He ended up not going to the United States. He said something, and then he ended up doing the exact opposite. Number one. And then they also said, yeah, it's going to be a great fight. Anthony Joshua is going to have the opportunity to get his titles back, and it's going to be a great night for Anthony Joshua. It's like, dude, what about Andrew Ruiz here? Like, they are friggin' going hard for Anthony Joshua. Like, they are really pulling out the pom-poms, just like they did for Canelo when Canelo fought Jacobs. It's like, this is crazy, crazy, crazy bias from Sergio Mora and the people at DAZN. It's arrogance, too.
Well, why are they even doing this when, like, the Ruiz side has obviously not agreed to the fight, Beep? They haven't agreed to the fight.
It's a fucking joke.
Like, we don't even know if the fight's going to happen technically. I mean, I think it is because it benefits both sides, okay, to pay Ruiz more money, right? It's as simple as that. It's like when completely different situations, but it's like when Maidana wanted to wear a certain type of gloves, and then I forgot what it was. They paid him how much, and then they paid him
I think they paid him $2 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Maidana said, okay, fair enough. And then they went on with the fight. Like, you're telling me they can't give Ruiz some more money, some more cheese to make this fight happen? It's not even Eddie Hearn's money. It's just the Saudis' money anyway. They're the ones handing out the money, bro. And you know what? To be honest with you, I even think Josh is getting screwed over in this one. I think Eddie Hearn's pocketing most of his money.
Yeah, I don't know. But all I want to know is, why is Eddie Hearn so concerned about how much Andrew Ruiz makes for this fight? Like, why does he have to lowball Andrew Ruiz? Like, why does he have to have that sense of power over Team Ruiz? I just don't get it.
Well, at the end of the day, we know who has the power over him, and that's DAZN. Okay?
That's correct.
So all DAZN has to do, hey, we'll just give him the money and let's get this fight done, Eddie, because we already announced it. All right? They've already announced the fight, and they have people that are paying monthly subscriptions. You think they want to tell people, oops, sorry, we're not going to have this fight?
Yeah.
Maidana got an extra $1.5 million for the glove situation. That's an AJ 10 fact check. Okay? Not to be confused with AJ, the boxer. All right? Okay. Man, this is a crazy situation, man. Like, have you ever, like, is there anything you could think of, bro, that's anywhere near confusing as this? Or have you ever heard of a fight that was announced where you're like, well, one side is saying they didn't even agree to the fight yet?
Not like this, no. Really haven't.
Well, it's being promoted. The Zone is putting it out there like it's going to happen already. I mean, it's crazy. All right, but at the end of the day, man, I think Ruiz is going to get more money. He's going to get more cheese, or he ain't going to fight. I don't think he's going to hold off, right? he's got the money to hold off right now. He made a lot of money in his last fight.
Well, here's another thing.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters, sometimes they fight once a year anyways. Not everyone fights twice a year.
Right.
Number one. Number two, Andre Ward sat out 2.5 years because he had a contract dispute. Mikey Garcia sat out 2.5 years because he had a contract dispute. Nonito Donaire sat out some substantial amount of time because he had a problem dealing with Bob Arum trying to renegotiate his contract. So this is not unprecedented that fighters will sit out to get the deal they want to get. Like people are acting like, this is brand new and everything, so.
Nothing brand new about this, man. Before I move to the next topic here, Babe, go to tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Ringside Reporter Live. I do a lot of shows during the week, but the big show is every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. And we go live every Sunday night.
There you go. And it'll be on tonight. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for that and subscribe to their channel. I want to ask you, bro, about, I didn't watch that fight, but I got home and people were talking about how the Cubans choked. And I know what they were talking about until I realized that they were talking about Robeisy Ramirez, bro. He lost his debut matchup. Well, were you surprised to hear that news?
Very much so. Very much so.
He was being touted as the dude. Oh, this is the dude that beat Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
Now somebody told me he got knocked out. Oh, it's not true. He actually lost a unanimous decision.
That's crazy.
Against Aiden
crazy.
Gonzalez, bro. A dude that's 4-2-2.
Split decision.
What does this tell us about, if anything, about the transition to amateur to pro?
It's a whole different ball game, bro. Howard Davis Jr. was a gold medalist. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he won the award for the most outstanding boxer. And I think it was, I want to say that was the 1976 Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. 1976 Olympics, I believe. And he was an outstanding amateur. And when he turned pro, didn't have that same success. So shit like this does happen. As great as Mark Breland was, he was a very solid pro. He was won the welterweight title a couple times, right?
Yes.
But he was like, he was like 110-1 as an amateur. He was one of the
amazing amateur,
a much better amateur boxer than he was in the pros. Really was.
Yeah.
So it happens. It happens. And even Lomachenko, I mean, he had that loss of Salido because
it's early.
You don't often see that style that Salido possesses in the amateurs, because a lot of times amateur referees will not allow that type of roughhousing to go on. Right. So there's growing pains to this, and the young man found that out last night.
But Lomachenko lost to Salido in a close matchup. You know what I mean?
But he got manhandled. He was getting thrown around the ring. He was getting manhandled.
But what I'm going to say, he didn't lose to a dude that was 4-2-2. Like, you know what I mean? There's a big difference between Salido and this. This was actually a good matchup for a pro debut.
Ramirez got knocked down in that fight, DStyle. I think that's what people are talking about.
Yeah, he got knocked down in the first round, yes.
Yeah. Did you mention that already? I didn't know.
I have not mentioned that, no, but yeah.
Okay. I still want to make sure. I want to make sure that I said something you already said.
No, absolutely. But I was surprised. I think that the best comparison I have for people is this, right? To me, like a gold medalist is almost. Tell me if you agree with this, but it's like the Heisman Trophy winner. All right.
Yeah.
There's been Heisman Trophy winners that went on and had amazing NFL careers, and there's some that were just a flat out bust by the second year. They couldn't even make a team anymore.
That's true.
I think Tim Tebow was the Heisman Trophy winner. I could be wrong about that, but he could barely even win a starting job in the NFL, and although he was loved by people, he couldn't even make the third string in a lot of teams. All right. So that's the best kind of comparison I got. I will say, though, that gold medalists have a higher ceiling when it transition compared to all other amateur boxers. I mean, there's thousands of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so we can't just count out gold medalists. But I think what matters more, and I think we saw it in the Ruiz Joshua fight, just to kind of go back to that. Joshua's the gold medalist, right?
Yeah.
But Ruiz, you always hear them talk about his amateur pedigree. And what they mean by that is he's been boxing since the dude was like 6 years old, right? That's how he's more fluid when he throws his punches and everything. I think amateur experience matters more than your amateur accomplishments, if that makes sense. Do you agree with that?
That's an outstanding point, because if you can't learn anything in the amateurs that you can take with you to the pros, that would sharpen your skills. If you can't sharpen your fundamental skills as an amateur, then you're going to have a tough time as a pro.
Right. The pro's different from the amateurs. Everyone doesn't translate to the next level, and it's that transition. You got to get that good transition in. Tebow won the Heisman Trophy in 2007. That's a fact check for you guys. There you go. But it's interesting to me that a gold medalist lost to a. But here's the thing, though, B. He did have those. I forget what I confuse it with the name of the Super Series. But is it called the World Series of Boxing? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, WBS, yeah.
He did have some of those fights, and he looked that bad to me. So I don't know if he was just caught with a really good shot and didn't recover, right? I've yet to see the fight. It's something I kind of wanted to throw in there. But
here's a ray of hope for the Ramirez fans out there.
Yep.
Let's remember this. Bernard Hopkins lost his first fight as a professional. And look what he came to be. Look what he went on to become. Now, Bernard Hopkins wasn't a highly touted gold medalist when he turned pro, so obviously the expectations.
So he could. It was more in the down low, and he had time to. Without being on the limelight, right?
Sure. And that's the thing. Do you think it's fair when these guys have such lofty expectations set on them, or does that just come with the territory? I mean, you won the gold medal. You're expected to be.
I mean. How many guys get a televised fight? Okay, or streamed, whatever you want to call it, in their professional debut?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, like it comes with the territory,
What's Bob Arum saying right now?
I actually do not know what Bob Arum has said. That's very interesting.
How's he feeling right now?
He probably, because he, you know what? I'll say this: Top Rank knows how to move guys along. So I mean, I don't know how much more far back they can go in terms of the quality of opposition, but they're probably going to have to take a step back, whatever that is. If they do that,
what about
10? But
what about Zhu Shiming? Remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
And how highly touted he was, and Aaron was saying he was the next best thing since sliced bread, and look what happened to him.
Yeah.
So
Hagler lost his first pro fight.
Not sure if Hagler lost his first pro fight, but he did lose a couple fights early in his career.
Okay. I could check that really quick. Let's see. Hagler, BoxRec. All right. We're going to check right now. Let me share the screen really quick. We're about to find out if Hagler.
No, he didn't lose his first pro fight.
It wasn't first pro fight? I don't see a loss in his first pro fight.
No.
But he did lose, like you said, early in his career. Look, he had he lost in 1976.
He had 2 losses in the same year.
Oh, wow, he did. That's not the same Willie Monroe that's out there today, guys, okay?
That's his father. Is that a father or his uncle? I think it's his.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're related. They are related.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
I think it's his father, I want to say.
Man, I'm hoping Ruiz says something soon, man. I haven't heard anything from him, but I think he's been advised right? He's been advised not to say anything. Shout out to NBT Boxing in the house, right? All the way over there in Australia, right?
What's going on from down under?
Yeah, absolutely. Ashley Knuckles saw the video and Ashley's in the house, but wait, Shamin had the great Freddie Roach. Sometimes it doesn't matter who you have in your corner, man. It's going to come down to these fighters. But at the end of the day, I'm surprised that he lost. Everybody was talking about it, bro. Oh, the guy who beat the gold medalist, Shakur Stevenson.
This was very unexpected.
Yeah, it's gonna have to make, I don't know. It's not the end of the world for him, but we'll see how it goes for him, man. You have any final thoughts, B, before we wrap this one up?
Well, I mean, I'm waiting with bated breath to see how this thing plays out, man, because I want to see this fight. Yeah, it's his uncle, AJ 10. Yeah, I thought he was either his uncle or his father. I couldn't remember. Thank you so much. This guy's awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think that if this fight doesn't happen, I think it's a blow to the sport right now, because then, like, we need to know if AJ, is the real deal, number one, and number two, we need to know if Ruiz is the real deal too. Like, this stagnates the heavyweight division right now if this fight doesn't happen. It puts it on it puts it on hold, and that's not what we need right now. So
nope. Look at that. Arguello had his 4th and 5th fights, back-to-back losses.
Yeah.
So Arguello was a great champion, man.
He was.
So, I mean, we will see, man, because Robesi at the same time, guy, it's not someone that just turned pro and he's learning on the job, by the way.
No, you're right.
This is a touted amateur gold medalist out of Cuba, and usually these Cuban fighters do really good on the come up. I'm very surprised he lost. I'm very surprised he lost.
I agree.
Make sure you guys catch Ringside Reported Live. Oh, actually, before you let you go, all right? This is Eric Morales Appreciation Week, bro. All right? Give me some quick thoughts on Eric El Terrible Morales.
Eric Morales is arguably he's definitely in the top, which is maybe at least top 5 greatest Mexican boxers of all time. Arguably, you could put him in the top 3, really, right? A lot of people say.
I put him up there. Me personally, I've seen a lot of top 10 lists. I don't even have him in the top 10, but
yeah. So a lot of people say like Salvador Sanchez or Julio Cesar Chavez is the best Mexican boxer, and then after that, who could it be? I mean, it could be, I don't know. You could put him up there. You could put him up there. Maybe Marquez. I don't know. Would you say Marquez is better than him? It's tough, right?
In their prime, I don't think Marquez was better. A lot of Marquez fans will disagree, but Marquez had a better overall career. I don't think he was a better fighter, but that's just my opinion.
Morales has been in some legendary fights with the Barrera trilogy, the Pacquiao trilogy. This guy's had a storied career. He's had a classic career, and he's a legend in the sport, man. And he definitely deserves to be honored and be appreciated. So I think you picked a good one.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll have the polls out tonight. I got 4 fighters for you. Okay. We got Evander Holyfield, Bernard Hopkins, Winky Wright, or Miguel Cotto. Who's getting Beeb's vote?
Oh, Holyfield.
Holyfield. Yeah. He didn't hesitate.
Holyfield, man. You know why I have so much respect for Holyfield? Because he was the only guy in his era that fought everybody. He fought Bo, Lewis, Michael Moore, Tyson, and he fought them multiple times. Like, Bo never fought Lewis. Lewis never fought Moore. And he fought Foreman, too. Like, Lewis never fought Moore. He never fought Foreman. He never fought Bo. Bo never fought Lewis. He never fought Tyson. Like, this is the only guy that actually fought everybody. When you say a guy fought everybody, he fought everybody. Lennox Lewis was probably the a close second, but because he didn't who didn't he fight, like Foreman, and he didn't fight like Michael Moore, and and he got stripped because he wouldn't fight John Ruiz, but even Holyfield fought John Ruiz 3 times. So this guy never allowed himself to get stripped of. I don't think this guy was ever stripped of a title in his life. Number one, he was never threatened to be stripped of a title in his life, because he said it himself. He fought each and every one of his mandatories. Didn't matter who it was. He would fight them because he respected the championship, and he would do everything in his power to hold on to the championship. So
yeah, look at him in 2011 sparring a young freaking Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, that's classic.
So if he didn't fight everybody, he sparred him. Okay.
Yeah. This is when he was out of his prime, older, giving the young guy a come up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's insane, bro.
He didn't have to give him that work.
No, he didn't have to help him at all, actually.
No,
but he did, and the dude loves boxing, bro. He beat Valuev, bro. I thought he won that fight,
and he unified 2 divisions. Name another fighter who's unified 2 divisions.
Oh, okay, yeah, cruiserweight and heavyweight.
Now he unified them.
Wow,
undisputed in 2 divisions. Now we've known fighters to climb the ladder and go up in weight and challenge themselves, but has anyone ever unified 2 divisions?
Oh man,
I don't think so.
I can't even think of somebody. No,
I don't think so.
Not in the era of multiple belts. No. And Holyfield did it, and you're right. He did fight everybody. But what about? I mean, dude. I mean, Hopkins is on that list. B-Hop, bro. 20 title defense.
I don't think Hopkins gets enough credit for doing what he did either. Like winning a winning a light heavyweight title at what 50 years old, or was it 49 or 50 years old?
Okay.
And being a champion at 50 years old in the light heavyweight division. How sick is that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Emil Griffith says Ashy Knuckles. Evander Holyfield, cruiserweight and heavyweight, absolutely scrapbook. And Manny Gatillo does not like Hopkins.
Yeah.
What about Winky Wright, man? Defensive fighter. We got to appreciate defensive fighters, I think.
Love Winky Wright.
Defense. And then Miguel Cotto. I mean.
Thank you, Ashy. Ashy says Emil Griffith was undisputed at 147, 160. Yeah. He's in a small group, Holyfield, then.
Yeah, that's a very small group. Yeah. And you got to appreciate that for sure. He said it'd be a hard one to beat in this poll.
But 48, AJ 10? I thought it was 49. Thank you. This guy's incredible.
Look at this. Fact check. All right. With that said, Beeb, I want to thank you for coming on, man. You guys can catch Beeb in about an hour and a half. He'll be live with Eric over there in Ringside Reporter. Make sure you check it out. That's the name, Ringside Reporter. I put the link to the channel in the description box too, so you can just click on it and it takes you there. And I just realized this today. If you put ringsidereporter.com, it takes you to the channel.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Another amazing fact, and maybe AJ can confirm this for me. Yeah. Hopkins did win the title when he was 48, but he held on to it even when he was 50. If I'm not mistaken, if he can fact check that, I think when he lost to Kovalev, he was 50.
Wasn't that the dude with the long arms? What's his name? Wasn't he 50 when he fell out of the ring? I don't remember, but or maybe it was 51 or some crazy shit like that.
He was on the verge of turning 51, I think.
We're gonna wait for this fact check from AJ 10. How old was he when he fought Kovalev?
How old was he when he lost the title, AJ 10? That's what I'm curious to know.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
Take a look.
Winky beat Tito, lost to Hopkins, beat Mosley.
He lost to Sergey Kovalev in 2014. And he was born 1965. So, 2014. Actually, he lost the title when he was 49, yeah, so he wasn't quite 50. Okay.
Look at that. Fact check. He was 49.
Good man, AJ.
There we go. Make sure you guys catch Joe Habib. There's the banner again. Make sure 7 p.m. Eastern time. Check that out, guys, every Sunday. And hit that bell button. That way notified him. Beeb does videos. He could be an elliptical. He'll do a video. Okay?
Yeah.
There ain't no stop. There's no stopping the grind.
No.
Right? Burgess, what's going on, man?
What's up, Burgess? How you doing, brother?
All right, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. You guys make sure you enjoy your Sunday and tune in to Ringside Reporter tonight.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.